This is my tutorial on Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits, but my drop D tuning arrangement. So this is going to be different from the other tutorials. There's a lot of great tutorials out there that show you how to play it in open G tuning, which is the tuning the song is written in. But if you're like me and you like to avoid open tunings, then this might be the tutorial for you. I will put the video into chapters, so if you want to skip straight to the tutorial, you can. If you haven't watched the video before, I recommend you hear a couple explanations I'm going to say right off the bat. So, like I said, I'm in drop D tuning. We're going to capo the 3rd fret, just like we would in the original song. If you're not familiar with drop D tuning, I might link another video to explain it, but it's pretty simple. It's a lot simpler than open G. Open G, you have to retune 3 of your 6 strings, and that's difficult, takes time, and it can potentially take a toll on your guitar long term. Really, any open tuning, I would have a little bit of that concern. With drop D, it's only 1 string and only 1 whole step, so I don't personally get too worried about the effect it's having on my guitar. So before we get into the tutorial, I'm going to play the intro through at a very slow pace, and then I'm going to play it through again, closer to the original pace, and then I will timestamp each of those separately in the description so you can click on them at any time. If we're deep in the tutorial going note after note and you're not sure how it's supposed to sound altogether, you want to remind yourself, you can just click either to that slow intro or to the full speed intro. The reason why I'm doing both is because it's easier to follow along with when it's at a slower pace, but it's hard to get that bounce and that feel that belongs to the song at a slow pace. So I'm going to do my best to capture it at the faster pace, and I'm going to do a slow pace version. So let's get into it. Here it is slowly. Alright, here it is closer to full speed. Let's get into the tutorial part of this video. So the first chord is a D, and it's going to be similar to the way we normally fret a D. So first finger goes on the 3rd string, what is now the 2nd fret, because we do have that capo on the 3rd fret. So first finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 4th finger, 2nd string, 4th fret, and 2nd finger, 1st string, 2nd fret. That's how you would normally fret a D chord. And in drop D tuning, you can play the low string because it's a D. But for this song, this intro, we're going to need this note. So I would take my pinky and use it to fret the 4th string, 4th fret. Now you could also do it like this, where you just bar the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings on the 2nd fret with your 1st finger, and then use your 2nd finger to get the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and your ring finger on the 4th string, 4th fret. That could be a little hard on your fingers, so it's kind of up to you. Most of this tutorial, I'm probably going to play it this way. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to hold this formation, and you're going to pluck the 6th and 1st strings simultaneously. Now you see why we had to have it in drop D tuning and not standard. We've already used this note, we're going to use it several times, and it's sort of an important note. So we're in drop D tuning, 1st and 6th strings together. I would use my thumb for the 6th and my ring finger for the 1st, and then I bring my thumb down to the 4th string, still holding this formation with my fretting hand, and I play 4 with my thumb, 3rd string with my index, 2nd string with my middle finger, and 1st string with my pinky. Now, when you just listen to the song, at least when I listen to it, my brain kind of hears, and once I get there, I feel like I should switch chords, but you don't actually switch yet. After you do that, you pluck the 3rd string again with your 1st finger, and the 5th string with your thumb. And then you strum it up, down, just. You could do that with your ring finger, your 1st finger, however you want to strum it, but you do all that before you switch chords. Then you switch to an A. So the way I would probably fret the A here is 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and pinky, 2nd string, 2nd fret. You could also bar it. Sometimes I do that. I bar the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings on the 2nd fret. But then sometimes you need this this high E open. So it can be difficult to get a good sound. It can be rough on your fingers. You'll probably see me play A this way most of the time. So once you switch to the A, the first thing you're going to do is play the 1st string and the 5th string simultaneously. So again, 1st string with your ring finger, 5th string with your thumb. And then we're gonna play the 3rd string with our index, 2nd string with our middle, and 1st string with our ring finger. Alright, the next thing you're gonna do, you're going to need the 2nd string, 3rd fret. That's the note you need. It's just that note by itself. So what I like to do is play that note with my 2nd finger. So 2nd finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And here's where it gets a little tricky, and we're doing this because we're in drop D tuning. We're not in the open tuning where we could just play the 1st string open, would be this note. But we don't want to tune our guitar that way, so we're playing it on the B string, 3rd fret. And once you play that note all by itself, then you're going to play the 4th string open. I use my thumb. The 3rd string open. I use my index. And then you're going to need to play the 2nd string open. And the next note you're going to need is that 2nd string, 3rd fret again, but this time I would use my index. And I'll show you why in a minute. The next note you're going to need is the 3rd string open, which I play with my index on my plucking hand. And then we need the 6th string, 5th fret. That's like our bass note. And I play that with my 3rd finger. And it's tough to get that note if you're playing that 2nd string, 3rd fret with your 2nd finger. That's why I switched to my 1st finger. But initially, when we're coming out of that A formation, playing the 2nd string, 3rd fret with your 1st finger would be quite the jump. It's somewhat of a jump anyway. So I play 2nd finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, open 4th string, open 3rd string, open 2nd string, 1st finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, open 3rd string, bass note on the 6th string, 5th fret. So now you have that G formation. That's a G in drop D tuning, because since the 6th string is tuned down, we have to go to the 5th fret to get a G. And then I hold down the 6th string and lay my ring finger across the 5th string so that it's muted, because that note, we don't want that in the G. And then it's just open D, open G. You already have your 1st finger on the 3rd fret here, so you can either use that to bar the 2nd and 1st strings and get that G, or you can just not play the high E, and you're gonna strum that chord down up. So if you don't want to play the high string, if you do bar it, it's up to you. But that's going to take us through the G chord. So once we've done that, we're going to come down to the 2nd string, 2nd fret. And I would play that with my 1st finger also. We're going to hammer on from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. But when we pluck it, we're going to simultaneously pluck the 5th string with our thumb. So at that part, I would use my middle finger to pluck the 2nd string and my thumb to pluck the 5th string. And then you just need the open 1st string, so I would just pluck that with my ring finger. And that takes you through the first iteration, the first chord progression of the intro. So you're going to go back to the first chord, and that is the D chord. And we're going to do the same, start it the same way, pluck the 6th and 1st string simultaneously, and then holding that formation, the 4th string, the 3rd string, the 2nd string, the 1st string, come back to the 3rd string just like before. But then instead of plucking the 5th string and strumming, we're going to make a run down all the strings. We're going to start with the 6th string, we're going to pluck it with our thumb. Holding this formation, we're going to pluck the 6th string with our thumb, pluck the 5th string with our thumb, pluck the 4th string with our thumb, pluck the 3rd string with our index, pluck the 2nd string with our middle. And before we get to the 1st string, we're just going to talk about that. You're going to have to get to be able to do that pretty fast. See, it's sort of muscle memory to do it during the song. It's a little difficult to do it just on its own. But you're going to make that run through all the strings, and then with your ring finger, you're going to pluck the high E on the 2nd fret, but you're going to pull off to the open high E, and then pluck the 2nd string 2nd fret. So I would also use my 1st finger to fret the 2nd string 2nd fret, and I would most likely do my ring finger on the 1st string, middle finger on the 2nd string, as far as my plucking hand goes. And really, when it comes to your plucking hand, or your right hand for most people, if you find a way to make that run that you like better, then go for it. I think most people do it thumb, 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 index, middle, ring, middle. And that's probably the most efficient way to do it. The tricky thing is that you have to do it all so fast, and the other tricky thing is you have to, at some point, abandon this formation once you get to the higher strings. So I would most likely do it this way. Thumb, 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 index, middle, and while I'm plucking the 2nd string with my middle, I'd be lifting up on my 1st finger. And once I've played that 2nd string, I pretty much just abandon the whole formation altogether. So that way I can pluck the 1st string with my 1st finger on the 2nd fret and do that pull off. And then 1st finger, 2nd string, 2nd fret, and pluck that with my middle finger. That's a bit tricky, but I think once you've practiced it a bit, you'll find that it's not really the most difficult part of the song. There are other notes that just feel a little awkward, but once you get that technique down of making that run, it's not the hardest thing in the world. So you basically make that run instead of playing the A. So you've done your D, make the run. Now you're back to the G chord, and you're gonna play it basically the same way you did the first time. In fact, it is the exact same thing. So 2nd finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, open 4th string, open 3rd string, open 2nd string, 1st finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, open 3rd string, bass note on the 6th string, 5th fret, strum up and down, and then you pretty much do the same thing to end the progression. But if you really listen to it, it sounds to me like at that part, he strums the chord. He strums the A chord. Hello everyone, it's Future Taz from the editing phase. I just wanted to acknowledge that in my demo, I did do a hammer-on after this full chord, and listening to the song, I don't think that's necessary. If you just strum the A chord, you'll be done with this part of the intro. So that's why I'm playing the A, barring the 3 strings that way, because it makes it easier to do the hammer-on. You can do it, but it is not necessarily in the original song. That's going to take you through the first 2 progressions. you're gonna have 2 more progressions in the intro or 2 more iterations of the same chord progression, and you do it basically the same way. You're gonna alternate between going from the D to the A to the G, and every other time you're going to do the D, do the run, and then do the G. And you're gonna end it either with or the full chord. And then there's another ending too, and that's this note and then the open E. So that's the main sound you want. Normally what I would do is just bar the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings on the 2nd fret, and then you just lift up, or you could even play all of them. That's what I believe it is. I mean, you could even just do the D formation, and then lift up your middle finger, then back into it, and that takes you through it. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I made you another one where I talk about the chord progression through the rest of the song, but as far as the intro, that's what I got. That's how you play it in drop D tuning. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and happy practicing.